Hey everybody, it has been a minute since we've been out camping, so I think it's time we get out there. I was looking just a little while ago, and I don't remember if it was 11 or 12 days since I released my last video. So anyway, I got the Onyx off-road all hooked up here, and we're going to go find us a brand new place to camp. So y'all buckle up, here we go. All right, y'all, I have found us a place to camp. It is not bad. It's a little bit of a park-like setting, really. Uh, some folks have camped here not too long ago, just back, and I'll kind of point that out to you. Back at the end of this deal, they left kind of a mess, and I'll clean all that up before I leave. There's Coke cans and cardboard and just basic trash. But anyway, I've been riding around up here for a couple hours and saw a lot of beautiful stuff, but this just seemed like a great place to spend the night. We're just going to do an overnight. I tell you, I've been sick. I think I got a sinus infection, so I'm not feeling the greatest. I was actually supposed to meet up with Corey and Kayla from Big Rock Overland yesterday or last night, and we were gonna camp out and then do some trail riding today and camp out again tonight, and then probably some trail riding tomorrow, and then we'd split ways. But I did not feel up to it. I have not felt good for about 3, maybe 4 days. Feels like somebody standing right on my forehead with their shoes on. But anyway, I can feel bad just as good out here as I can at home. And I'm all by myself, so if I need to take a nap, I certainly can. But anyway, let me kind of give y'all a spin around here for a second. You can kind of see down through there how the trees are set up, and it's a little bit of a park-like setting. And I'll take y'all on a little walk here. I did notice just driving in through here, I came in from over that way, and I just noticed there's a lot of nails in the trees and different stuff, and I'm going to try to take all that stuff down. I don't know why in today's day and age people are still doing dumb stuff like that. Well, if you need to hang something up, just tie a string around the tree and hang it up. But anyway, I'm not going to harp on that. But anyway, I'm going to try to clean this place up some. You never know, I might be back here sooner than later. I don't like seeing all that trash, and I certainly don't want anybody to think that I left all that stuff like that. So I will definitely clean it up. But anyway, I'll take y'all on a little tour here directly. All right, everybody, let's take a little tour here. I have not given it the once over. It looks like there's plenty of kindling and stuff laying all over the ground out here. Shouldn't be too difficult if we want to start a fire, I guess. Now, some of what I was talking about. Whew, look at here, little grasshoppers. Hop grasshopper. There it is. Anyway, see, there's a nail in this tree with some garbage hanging from it. Another nail in this tree. What's wrong with people? People's kids. Got a horseshoe in that tree. Another one in this tree. Another one in that tree. And I will take all of this down, and I hope it pisses them all off. Just because I can't stand this. It don't make any sense why you would do things like that. Another nail in that tree. And as we move along, some broke up pieces of tent stake. Still a tent stake in the ground right there. Some old plastic jobs you get with them Walmart tents. Anyhow, another nail in a tree with a piece of a fish stringer hanging from it. I'm sure they wasn't catching no fish up here on top of this ridge. People just use what they have, I guess. Somebody cut that tree down. Let's see here. What else we got? Oh, some wire tied around this tree up there. You know, everybody that camps talks about how they love the outdoors and this and that. This stuff's been in this tree so long it has grown into the tree. I'm sure behind all that there's a nail back there, and that tree has just grown around that nail. These people, man. Oh, anyway, what I was saying, everybody talks about how they love the outdoors and they want to go camping, blah, blah, blah. But then they come and they leave it trashed like this. They leave this cardboard in there, and soda cans, just crazy stuff. Now look, this tree had a doggone cable around it. Y'all see that cable right there? People just don't make any sense, but since they want to leave this wood behind, I'm probably gonna burn that tonight. That's just the way it is. But it is so peaceful out here. I think the weather's supposed to be all right tonight. Now there's a 50 or 60% chance of rain tomorrow, and I don't really know when that's supposed to start, but it doesn't really matter. Sorry about that. I hate to sneeze in y'all's ear like that. I couldn't help it. Oh, Lord. I think I see some more trash over here. There's me a little piece of pine I can bust up if I can muster up the energy to do it. All these pine cones around here, y'all, I don't know. Some of y'all probably aren't aware that those make the best tinder. Man, those things burn so well, catch up real easy. Let me walk around here and make sure there ain't some dead puppies under this box over here. I'm gonna tell them what people will leave out in the woods. No, it's just junk. Peanut butter cracker box. I'll throw that away too before I leave. Anyway, that's enough about all that stuff. I'm gonna go ahead and get set up. Hey y'all, welcome back. It is time to get some coffee on. Y'all know how we do. Get that coffee brewing. We've been here for quite some time. Dragging our feet. I tell you, I got the camp set up. Got my fire smoldering over here, getting ready to grill off those pork chops. What I was telling y'all about that corn on the cob, you know, I lived in Iowa for a good long time, and folks from Iowa, they take their corn serious, boy. Sweet corn is just part of their world. So around this time of year, sweet corn on every corner. But anyway, so when I was at the store the other night, excuse me, I got a steak to cook at home, and when I had bought the corn also. I bought 4 ears of corn to cook, and I thought, well, I'll cook that corn after I get done with this steak. Well, as I was cooking that steak, it was smelling so good, and well, I was really getting hungry, so I thought, you know what? I have cooked corn or corn on the cob, just about any way you can think of. We've cooked it over the campfire in the shuck. We've grilled it. We've smoked it, boiled it like most folks do. I thought to myself, why can't I cook this corn in the skillet where I just cooked that steak. So I cooked the corn and I cooked 2 pieces in there. And that was some of the absolute best corn I'd ever eaten. So there's 4 pieces of that corn in the package. I cooked the 2 in the skillet, enjoyed it thoroughly. The next day, I still had those 2 leftover pieces, so I put them in the water like, the old way. And the corn didn't taste half as good. So that's what I learned. If you fry corn on the cob in the skillet, especially behind the steak, it will have flavor like you've never had. So anyway, if you find yourself bored and you got some corn on the cob and a steak, do it that way. Anyway, so I'm not going to put up the tarp and all that stuff. I don't believe it's supposed to rain tonight. It's supposed to start sometime tomorrow. My luck, it'll probably start first thing in the morning before I get all this packed up. But excuse me, at any rate, I'm not setting all that stuff up. I just don't feel like it. I feel much better just being out here. And I really enjoyed my drive all through the woods and all that stuff. I don't mind going on some really technical roads, but I know how far I can push my truck because, up here, most places you can't make a phone call and you're way too deep to be trying to walk out. So, you learn your lessons when you're young. When you get to be my age, you don't do that kind of stuff anymore. But all of the roads I was on today, they're very, I'd give them a 1 or 2 on the scale of 1 to 10 on technical difficulty because there wasn't really any. As a matter of fact, if my wife wasn't with me, I would drive my wife's car on any road I went on today. I'm sure she probably wouldn't like it, but at any rate. So everything's going good, don't have a lot of stuff to set up. Didn't take long, really. It gets a little more taxing when I set up that tarp and all that stuff. And I haven't really taken down all these nails and all that stuff yet. I'll do it in the morning when it's not so hot. I don't really know what the actual degrees is right now, but it's hot. I mean, your eyelids will sweat just standing still. And it's very still out today, which has not been the case. If you've been watching my channel for very long, you know that a couple of things that I get almost every camping trip is some pretty high winds and some storms. That's just part of the game, I guess. I don't let the weather bother me too much. I like to get out and do it. So if you try to do all your plans by the weather, you'll be on the couch the rest of your life, I would imagine. But this is, I guess the reason why it's been so long since I've been out camping, it seems like every day there's something new. Before I got this crazy sinus infection, I was down for a day or 2. It just didn't feel good. I'm not sure what it was. I was super tired. I just woke up one morning and I felt like I couldn't wake up all the way. I was just blah. And I took a nap later on that morning, and when I woke up from that, I felt a lot better, but I wasn't up to par, and I was running a temperature 100, 102, somewhere in there. And then that finally went away, and then I had several things I had to do. I had I think I had a couple of doctor's appointments, and then I don't know, just busy. Life gets busy, especially in the spring and summertime. Seems like everyday life gets busier than it is in the wintertime. I'm not sure why that is. I guess just a lot of things start happening come summertime. So that's just the way it is, I reckon. But not all the people I watch, but a lot of people I watch on YouTube, they put out a video every week like clockwork. But I think those people are driven by the thought of making it big, getting into the dollars, getting their channel monetized, that kind of stuff. That I have no interest in that whatsoever. It doesn't matter to me if it ever happens or it don't. Obviously I like to get subscribers because I like to think somebody's watching me do all this nonsense. I'm still going to do it whether you watch or not, but there's just it kind of gives you a good feeling that somebody enjoys what you do. So I think that's pretty neat. But as far as monetizing the channel and all that stuff, it doesn't really interest me in the least. I don't. If you start turning this kind of thing into work, it will lose all of its joy. And this is where I get about, I don't know, probably at least 50% of my joy is to get out in places like this on, I like it to be a little cooler, but on days where the weather's just good. And, you know, I ain't saying camping is going to solve all your problems, but it will certainly get you into the vibe of everything slows down and you can just take it easy. And, if you do have something that might be eating at you problem wise or whatever, you just can't seem to get it figured out, you get into an atmosphere like this and your mind just relaxes, and you might just come up with that thing that you were looking for, that you might solve that problem that you've been having, or take the time to look at something with a little different perspective. And I don't know, there's just something about it that is very calming to me. And I know a lot of people feel that same way. Some people look at it as just a lot of work and it costs a lot of money. You got to buy all this extra food and all this stuff, but you can't turn it into work. And that's why I will probably never monetize my channel, because number one, I don't ever want to have to depend on the funds from YouTube. Some of the guys I watch and I really like their channels, and they do well, and then they're making good money, and some of them even quit their regular jobs, are able to take time away from their jobs to do it, and the money starts getting pretty good to them, and then for some reason YouTube throttles them back, or their videos aren't getting the views that they need. And then I hate to see people suffer like that. I don't. And it becomes a lot of work to them, and you can tell when their channel switches gears that it looks like they're making it harder on themselves. And I don't want to get to that point. I want this to always be fun to me. And I think by not monetizing my channels, or my channel, well, I do have multiple channels, so monetizing my channels, I don't think that's the right thing for me to do personally. I love to see people, that do really well on YouTube, and they, that's their main income is YouTube. And then, when you get big like that, you get sponsorships, and, none of that stuff really means anything to me. I don't mind people sending me things. I kind of like that. But when, the way that works is companies get a hold of you via email typically, and they discuss, doing collaborations with you. And if it's something that I would use personally, I'm all about it. Like when Bamacar sent me that rooftop tent last year, that's something that I'd been thinking about. My wife and I both, we had been talking about it for a long time. It really wasn't in our budget. We didn't really research the cheaper models. So I didn't know everything I needed to know about rooftop tents. I would look at the ones that were, anywhere from $2,500 to $5,000. And I thought, man, that would be really cool, but not in my budget, anyway, not even close to my budget. But when Bamacar approached me about this one, I looked it up, and it was budget friendly. So I agreed to take the tent, and everything, just like they said it came. They shipped it right to my house, or well, not to my house, because my house is hard to find, and you really can't get a straight truck or a semi with a short trailer back there, and that's how these things are delivered. So I met the guy at Walmart in the town by where I live. We swapped it from his truck over to my utility trailer. I took it home, and if you've watched some of my earlier videos about that, you can see I just had shoulder surgery. So it took quite some time to get it unboxed, and I think between the unboxing and getting it on top of my off-road trailer was, I don't know, maybe a month. And I wouldn't even have got that far with it if my buddy Sam hadn't come over with his tractor. We used the bucket on his tractor to lift it up. We're both wounded. He had tore his thumb nearly completely off, and I was down with my bad shoulder. We looked like two of the three stooges trying to get that done, but we got it worked out. And I tell you what, I have enjoyed that thing. I don't know how many nights I've spent in it. All through the winter. I camped, and then uh, I stayed really warm. Had that diesel heater, kept that thing toasty. I know they make insulated liners to go inside these things. Where I live, it doesn't get cold enough to need one. That matter of fact, at no point did I ever run that diesel heater all night. I just, on the lowest setting, you could cook biscuits in there with you. So I don't see myself ever needing one of those insulated liners. But things like that, things that I can use and I will continue to use. And I've been sent a lot of stuff, and you guys see it on the channel every time I go camping. I don't continue to talk about it. I might, when somebody sends me some, I don't ever ask them for money or anything like that. It's like this fire pit, I use it a lot. The rooftop tent, I use it a lot. The slumberjack awning, I use it almost 99% of the time I go out. There's so many things. The one thing that I don't use every time is the water purifying machine that I got from ITEL. And it is an awesome unit. I'm just not always camped by water, and I usually bring water with me from home when I'm coming up top like this. But, as time progresses, I will be camping in other spots. I like to camp out in an entire area and then move to somewhere new and start looking instead of driving, 2 times I'll camp in this one particular area and then I'll drive 200 or 300 miles. I don't want to do that. I want to do all my camping in one area and then I'll move to another area. Like this area we're in today is probably, by road, it's probably a good 30 miles, 20 or 30 miles from where we've been camping the last several times. And you can get there from here and never touch a highway, but it will take you some time. But, I've kind of gotten to all the areas that are right there. So I moved on over here. And then, today when I was riding around, I found so many more spots. So probably, minus a few trips that I have planned, some collaboration stuff that I have planned. And I talked a little bit about that earlier, doing some things with Big Rock Overland. I've been watching their videos and they do stuff that's sort of what I do, but on a different measure. They do a lot of trail riding. They're Jeep people, and they do a lot of trail rides and stuff. They'll gather up people, and they're not Jeep snobs. No matter what you drive, you can come with them, and that just seems to be a lot of fun to me. I can't wait to get caught up with them. They're just good folks. But anyway, so I'll be adding some of that to the channel. Hey everybody, welcome back. It is roughly about 5 o'clock, so I thought I'd better get my groceries on the grill. I don't think there's any threat to anybody starving to death around here, but I do want to eat at a reasonable hour. I haven't really been doing much to speak of. I hung up my lanterns over there, strung a piece of 550 cord between the trees, and then put the lanterns on there. And then I've just been sitting around listening to some classic Statler Brothers, enjoying myself. Can't really say enjoying the peace and quiet for a change, because it's usually pretty quiet around my house most of the time. But I almost feel like I should have camped by the creek where a fella could take him a dip, cool off this evening. But maybe next time it's gonna be, well, it's gonna get a lot hotter around here before it gets any cooler. So I guess there is time for that camping trip. You know, I don't want to jinx it, but all in all, the bugs haven't been too bad really here. I did spray down good when I got here just to keep the ticks off of me. There's one thing we have up in these hills is plenty of ticks. And supposedly some bears too, but you know, I don't really have any bear trouble stories. I guess I'm pretty fortunate that way. Somebody said they seen one just outside of town by the highway yesterday or the day before. My wife was telling me about it. And then there's a store in town. They sell like freight salvage type stuff, groceries, and you never know what's going to be in there when you go in there. It's not the same stuff all the time, but a lady who works in there said that wherever she lives, which I'm guessing is relatively local if she works in that store, said they got a bear cub tearing all kinds of stuff up around her house. I guess I'm just really fortunate because I spend an awful lot of time in the woods. Haven't seen any bears. You know, squirrel season is upon us. And if I felt better, I'd be squirrel hunting right now instead of talking to y'all. So maybe on the next trip, I don't know if y'all are into it or not, but I wouldn't mind doing a catch and cook, as they say. I ain't gonna try to catch a squirrel, but I'll certainly disable him the only way I know how. But I'd be game for that if y'all are. If you got any interest in seeing me do a squirrel catch and cook, put a little something in the comments. One thing we don't have a shortage of is squirrels, and it is squirrel season. Or if y'all want to see me do an actual catch and cook with some trout, I can do that too. I don't hate trout, but it's not my favorite fish by any stretch. And I do have some catfish in the freezer that I caught. Got some catfish and some crappie too, that I've just been waiting on the right time to fry them up in one of my camping episodes. You know, you become a creature of habit. You eat all of the same things. Well, most people I know, you know, they have a revolving menu. It doesn't change a lot. So thinking of stuff to cook while you're camping that you didn't cook last time or the time before that, you know, you don't want to keep having repetitive stuff. So sometimes it's hard to come up with something. I have a notebook that when I first started doing YouTube videos, I was sitting around the house thinking about stuff I'll cook on my videos. And man, I got a half a notebook full of stuff, and I've cooked a lot of it. I don't really know how many videos I have now. Almost a year's worth, not quite a year. Still got a few months left before I reach that year mark. But you know, so I'm guessing there's probably 45 or 50 videos in there. I don't know. I haven't looked in a while, but now we're doing it. Hey everybody, welcome back. I believe everything about this meal is just right. So I'm gonna get these bad boys on here. Enough to get started with, for sure. Hey everybody, it is about time for me to wrap this evening up. The pork chops and corn on the cob turned out spectacular. It was really good. Everything turned out just right. Couldn't have hoped for anything better, I guess. But I am really wore out, so I think I'm going to call it an evening. And I will see y'all right back here first thing in the morning for breakfast. Hey, good morning, y'all. It is a lovely day. Actually, it's supposed to rain here before too long. I don't know exactly when it's coming, but I don't think I'm gonna cook breakfast this morning. I think, excuse me, for breakfast we might just have a turkey sandwich and go on about our business. But 'cause I didn't want to get all this packed up before it starts raining. But I do have some coffee going. Wowza, and it's hot too. Uh, so yeah, that's the plan this morning. We'll get this coffee made and get this stuff packed up and have us a turkey sandwich and then get on the road for home. Well, we ain't that far from home, but we got a lot of rough road to ride before we get there. So anyway, it's been just a lickety split kind of camping trip, but sometimes that's all right too. Hopefully we'll stay ahead of the rain and won't get bogged down in that. But probably I'll take that rooftop tent down and pack it up before my coffee's even done. I just what time is it? That's just a little after 6. But there's not really a lot going on this morning. Just some coffee making, and I was gonna do some bacon and eggs for breakfast, but I think I'm gonna put that on the back burner, so to speak. I'll probably do that once I get home. Oh Lord, I didn't hear anything strange go bump in the night around here. I didn't leave anything out, for coons or possums to get into. But usually you can hear things, monkeying around in the woods. I slept with all the windows open last night. I didn't hear a thing out of the ordinary. But anyway, I'm gonna get this done and I'll get back with y'all in a little bit. Hey y'all, welcome back. You know what? I believe that the Weather Channel has set me up. I rushed around here trying to get this stuff packed up so so my stuff wouldn't get wet because I didn't have my tarp out. And I don't really know what's coming in the future, but right now it's bright blue skies and sunshiny and hot, real hot. So I don't really know what's going on. We got a pretty stiff wind coming through, so it's probably blowing a front of some kind up in here. But I had time for breakfast. I believe where I'm going to go from here is I'm gonna finish this coffee, and I'm gonna do some more riding since I'm already out here. Try to find the next best camping spot. That's probably 90% of the fun for me is just driving around up here. I mean, there's an untold amount of roads and trails, and there's many miles of trails that are if you got a capable four-wheel drive of some kind. A lot of the Jeep clubs and different things like to ride around up here. But once you run out of places you can drive with your truck, there's all kind of four-wheeler and side-by-side trails after that. And a lot of these trails you can go a certain number of miles in your truck, and then you can unload whatever four-wheeler or whatever side-by-side, whatever you got, and go way farther, way farther. And if you have something like Onyx Off-Road, when you're looking at that map of this area, you can see, what that trail's designed for, what it's rated for. It'll tell you, excuse me, how wide the trail is, and some that you're not allowed to drive your truck on. It has to be, it rates it truck, side-by-side four-wheeler, and then it goes all the way down to two-wheel motorbikes because the trails are real narrow. And then there's a lot of bike trails up here too. But there's something for everybody, no matter what your outdoor thing is. I mean, as long as you're an outdoors person of some kind. I mean, there's in here somewhere, there's something for you to do. There's trout fishing, motorbike riding, four-wheeler, side-by-sides, plenty of Jeep trails and truck trails and things of that nature. A lot of places to camp. That's the good thing about it. I mean, you can pull over anywhere and make a camp as long as you don't get too far off the road, off the beaten path. You know, they don't want you going 200-300 yards out there making your own setup kind of thing. But you know, people have been at this for so long, you don't have to go too far to find a decent camp like this. So, like I said, something for everybody. And there's the hunting up here is outstanding. There's lots of turkeys, deer, squirrels, rabbits, just about whatever you like to hunt, you can find it up here. So it's a great place to be. It's I've been here, I guess, up in about 3 years roaming around up here. You know, I was never mountain people before. You know, I always lived down in the flatlands, down in the swamp country, where they got plenty of things to bite you down there, but it's just different than up here. I mean, there's plenty of creepy crawlies and snakes and whatever up here, but it's just a different breed of them down there. And I feel like there's more of them. But, you know, if you use your head, you can stay safe and have a good time. Last night it was so hot. Oh, Lord, it was hot. I have two USB fans that I took up in the rooftop tent with me and had those fans on me, no covers, all the windows open. It was just hot. And I think that kept me from getting a great night's sleep. I mean, I slept all right, but I could have slept better had it been just a little cooler. But you know, it's coming on to the time of year when it's going to be in the 80s at night, and I don't like that. That's when I bring my little camouflage trailer with me that has air conditioner in it. You know, I'm old. I don't like to be getting 2 hours of sleep a night because it's too hot to sleep. I like to add things to my camping arsenal that make things easier on me. You know, I've spent my fair share of years bushcrafting and roughing it, as we called it, which, you know, we didn't know any better back then because that's all we did. We didn't have hardly anything to speak of for camping equipment. We did have Coleman stoves, lanterns, that kind of thing, but we didn't have any good sleeping gear. And we camped, you know, year round. Didn't matter if it was summer or winter. And now that, you know, I'm the one making the decisions, I decide I don't want to suffer like that. That's crazy. But anyway, I think this is where we're going to wrap this one up, guys. If I find anything interesting in my travels, I will make note. But if I find a cool camping spot, I'm not going to tell you all about it till next time, and that's where we'll be, I think. But you know, yesterday when I got here, I went quite a ways down this particular little trail I'm on, and it goes quite a ways back there. I didn't really mark the mileage on it. I mean, I could check it out on my map, but it goes all the way back and it comes out to an open field sort of food plot area, I guess, for deer and turkeys and whatever. But that it was really pretty back there. And then there's a spot back there where, I mean, you could make a campsite. I don't think it would be that big a deal, but it's got a little bit of tall grass. And when you got those tall grass places like that, you're going to have ticks and chigger problems, or chigro problems. You can't say chigger anymore. But, you know, it would be a good place to make a camp. And I took a picture back there, and it's got a view that's really pretty cool. And I will put that in the video right here. I'll put that picture there so y'all can see it, but it's one of the prettiest views I found yesterday. But anyway, I won't bore y'all with that stuff. I'll find us a new camping spot for the next video. I'll try to get out a lot sooner than 10 or 12 days. Hopefully nothing major will come up and I'm able to get out some. But anyway, I'll see y'all next time in the woods.